Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Deja and I'm the owner and artist behind Starstruck Pups Art. And this morning I woke up really craving some strawberries and some sketching. So we're going to be tackling that first thing in the morning. Kicking us off, I picked this picture of a Bernese mountain dog from Pinterest that I really liked because I just think it's so cute the way that he holds the basket of apples. I've been trying to teach Sage to hold a little basket so that I can get some cute pics in the future, but that's a future goal. Anyways, would you believe that after I had drawn the initial sketch of this Bernese mountain dog, that I literally stared at it for no joke about 15 to 20 minutes before actually putting a pencil down to the paper? And that's because I just let myself get stuck in how do I make this look perfect? How do I make this come out good? How do I not waste my time today? And in taking 15 to 20 minutes to figure out how not to waste my time, I wasted 15 to 20 minutes of my time. Not only was it a huge lesson on my part to just learn to get started and stop focusing in so much on details that don't even exist yet, but as you can see, as I'm coloring this in, I have started to regret my choices because the colors just don't look like they're making sense. So this was also a very large test of me just trusting the process and doing the next best thing that I can every single time I felt like this was just getting out of hand. After a lot of work and a lot of trusting the process, I'm finally down to just coloring in that basket. And as you can see, I'm actually using these pastel colored highlighters to get down that base color for the basket for two reasons. Number one, I do not have a yellow colored pencil right now. I ran out of it and need to go to Michael's to replace my Prismacolor pencil because it is pretty much irreplaceable. Well, let me not say that. It is replaceable by a highlighter in certain circumstances, obviously. At the end of the day, you just work with what you got and you just make art happen because, you can't wait around for just the materials you need all the time. You could, but then you're just procrastinating on creating really creative art where you have to think outside of the box. But in any case, I'm glad it all worked out and that I trusted the process because I think she came out really well. But let's go ahead and let's get started on the next sketch. I chose another fruit-based reference photo, this time of a pug with some nanners on his head. Not only did I think it was super cute and fun, but I also wanted to make sure that I was challenging myself with drawing an animal or a dog that I hadn't drawn before, and a pug is on that list. After working on that base yellow for the banana, it's time to start adding some color to his snout. Obviously, when you look at a pug, the snout is a very dark brown color, but I'm not working with any brown, so I have to kind of make it pop in my own way. And by that, I mean I'm looking towards the photo to see where light is shining down on the pug's actual snout, and from there just choosing new colors to represent the highlights and other brown colors that you actually see in the reference photo. Now when I'm working with this really dark blue color, I'm keeping in mind that I'm only using it for the darkest colors that I'm seeing, the darkest shadows that I'm seeing in the reference photo that I'm working with. For everything outside of that darkest black and brown color that I'm using the blue to replace, I'm gonna go ahead and actually use purple to show that there's still a shadow there. It's just not as dark as the blue color I've been using. Now again, when I'm using my color pencils to add different shadings and shadows, I like to consider what it actually looks like in the reference photo. While yes, sometimes I may use different variations of purple, sometimes I also think that different variations of orange and red really capture what I'm looking for as well. I like to remind myself that while I'm trying to keep things looking realistic, I'm also trying to keep things looking fun and colorful. As I have nearly completed my nanner, I am now just going to add some of the shadows that show that it's resting on top of his head instead of being flat and equal to the rest of his head. But I've also decided that I'll be using that blue color just to outline some different parts of the entire image. I'm not selecting every single space in the image to outline, but just picking and choosing where I think it would fit best. At the end of the day, that's what I did for the Bernese Mountain Dog a second ago. Well, not a second ago, but by outlining the Bernese Mountain Dog with this blue, I thought it would be nice to do the same with the pug, just to help bring the two sketches together. And I'm done. I added some facts and swatches just to help me fill up the page, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm ready to start on the next one. I already started on the left-hand page with some basic sketches and facts about Dalmatians, so I figured why not draw a much larger sketch of a Dalmatian on the right side. Since Dalmatians are black and white, I know I'm going to be working a lot with my dark blue color to capture the darkest blacks, but also making sure to go back and forth with other purples to actually add some dimension into the photo that I'm trying to recreate. When I was first working on this sketch and kind of looking at it through the lens of my camera while I was recording, I was actually getting kind of upset because I felt like the light I needed to put on my page in order for you to see the details of what I'm working on really also corrupted the look of the color on the page, because the purples and blues are just so much more vibrant in person than they can possibly be in front of all this light on the camera right now. With that in mind, I decided to use the color pink as the highlight color for his nose, rather than using a variation of lighter blue or lighter purple to show that there's light shining. Not only did I do this to kind of help correct that color I was seeing through the camera, but also I like to give myself the opportunity to work with new colors and to work in new ways so that my style can actually develop and I can actually learn if I do or don't like to create in this new way. Real quick complaint, comment, call it what you want. I may trust the process, but I am deeply annoyed by how long the process can take sometimes. Like, coloring in this ear took so many layers and layers of that blue color pencil, just again and again, and really pushing down. And it could just be so annoying sometimes. It really makes me want to just switch mediums completely. Like, again, I loved the way I was able to just color in that banana with the yellow highlighter. So I don't know, maybe that's something that I should consider moving forward doing. I don't know if anyone else has had this issue with their art, or if people really like the buildup of color. There are times that I do like building up color, but then there are times where I just have absolutely no patience for it, and I just know I can't be alone here. But hey, if anything, I've learned something about my art process, and maybe that's that I should be combining different mediums so that I'm not spending as much time coloring in. At this point, I'm using this pinky peach color to show the actual pinkness on his lips from the reference photo, and then choose to use a cream color that still blends in well with that peachy cream, but also accurately represents the white color of the Dalmatian outside of the spots. Now, I'm not gonna lie guys, as I was coloring in the hands that are holding the face of the Dalmatian, I was a little bit worried about the colors I was choosing. I knew I wanted to take a more colorful approach when I was actually coloring in my hands, so using purples for the shadows, maybe some oranges, reds, and other shades of purples to continue to actually color in the hands. But as I continued to color in the hands, I wasn't necessarily loving the look I was seeing. It felt really jumbled around. So I tried to bring it together using a peach colored pencil and ultimately decided to actually dull this color out by erasing it down and just bringing the pops of color I actually wanted to see in the hands, and leave the rest to faith, trust, and pixie dust. At this point, I'm just making the final outlines of the sketch. I really like to consider my sketchbook like the notebook I never got to keep in school. I always loved to doodle, and so this is what I created. Today I made my cute little Dalmatian as well as my Bernese mountain dog and this pug with a nanner, and I am really loving my sketchbook creations today, and I'm so excited to continue to share all of them with you. So subscribe and follow for more, and I'll see you next time.